All right, so we're talking perimeter defense and guarding the ball. So right here, Caleb and Brock. Caleb's just saying he's on defense, so we're going to break down a good defensive position for Caleb. We're going to talk in a second about knowing your matchup and channeling them and funneling them in different directions. But the basics, of course, is like you want to be in a good defensive stance. So Caleb, you'll be in a good defensive stance. So his chest is up and his hips are low, his hips are back. And his hands, he wants to have his hands out to try and deflect a pass, or like if this guy's weak with the basketball, Caleb can reach in and he can poke at the ball. Normally, yeah, you want to go like that where your palms are up, poking at the ball, because if you go overhand, you're probably going to foul. So you want to be in that position right there. So knowing your matchup, you want to know what your advantage or disadvantage is. So we'll go over a couple scenarios right now. Let's just say the ball handler, Brock, is way faster than the defender. If he's way faster, then the defender probably wants to take a little bit of a step back so that he can retreat and give himself space to cover the ball. Now, if it's flipped, the ball handler is slower or less quick than the defender. Well, if this guy's way quicker, this defender's way quicker, he can really, really pressure the ball. If the offensive player can really shoot it, but they suck at driving, then you want to really pressure the ball. If it's the opposite, they're a really good driver but a bad shooter, then like, let's say that guy couldn't shoot at all. You know, as a defender, you would want to play way off. Now, if they're a good driver and they're a good shooter, well, they're a good player. So you just got to have really good effort and pressure the ball and defend the drive. But you got to know who you're guarding, what they're good at, and you always want to force them to their weakness and what they're bad at. Now we're going to talk about forcing the ball handler to their weak hand. The younger you are, so like JV, freshman teams and younger, usually if you force the ball handler to their weak hand, most of the time you're going to totally shut them down. So Brock is good at dribbling with both hands, but let's just say as a right-handed player, let's say his left hand, he's really bad at dribbling with his left hand. So what Caleb's going to want to do is have an angle where the middle of his head is kind of on Brock's right shoulder, and you can see right here, Caleb dropped his right foot. So he is basically telling that ball handler, I want you to dribble to your left. So now let's just go half speed. Let's say Brock, don't go yet, but let's say you would dribble this way and then change direction. And Caleb, you do the wrong thing right here and you open up. So let's just do that half speed. So we're saying Caleb is forcing the ball handler to his weak hand, and then as Brock changed directions, all right, you can stop right there. This defender, in this case, they opened up and they allowed the ball handler to get back to their strong hand. That is the wrong thing to do. So let's go back. And Caleb, this time you're just going to stay at that angle. Brock, you're going to change directions, but Caleb, you're going to stay right there and force him to his left. So we're saying we're forcing him to his weak hand. The ball handler tries to get back to their strong hand. And what a good defender will do is not open up, but stay at that angle. And now you could probably get a steal, or you're just going to cut that offensive player off. So usually, and even sometimes at the high school or college level, if the offensive player has a really bad weak hand, you just want to open your hips up in that direction that forces them that way, and don't let them get back to their strong hand.